incredibly honored by this responsibility, and I'm ready to get to work.
As someone who has been a part of the movement to improve the lives of Black people, especially Black people who've been impacted by policing and incarceration, Senator Kamala Harris has a complicated history. I think we can call for Biden and Harris to be challenged for their past while also being the cheerleaders for them to win the election November 3rd. There are so many reasons why we must beat Trump. We're living under a government that has completely neglected and abused the people who live in this country and around the world.
It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
He has marginalized, attacked, neglected, and abused almost every single group in this country. And our work to defeat Trump also helps us defeat the white supremacists that he has galvanized.
I watched this very closely, much more closely than you people watched it. And you have, you had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent.
Former Vice President Biden, as he was the architect of the crime bill, he created a Democratic establishment that was more tough on crime almost than the Republican Party.
In a nutshell, the president's plan doesn't include enough police officers to catch the violent thugs and not enough prison cells to put them away for a long time.
He was a big proponent of the idea that young Black and brown children were super predators.
And Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
Senator Kamala Harris has a complicated history. When she was the AG of California, she was also tough on crime. She did make some reforms around re-entry. She has stayed committed to challenging Trump. She has stayed committed to really being more expansive in her views around the criminal justice system. Shows me that she's grown since her days of being the AG of the state of California. I do think that the Biden campaign chose her because our movement pushed for a Black woman VP. It could have been Amy Klobuchar. Let's remember. Does that mean that when Joe Biden becomes a president and Senator Kamala Harris becomes a vice president that we stop fighting and working for the change we believe in? Absolutely not. It means we fight even more. Just a month ago, the Movement for Black Lives launched the Breathe Act. And the Breathe Act is federal legislation that looks at how do we divest away from punishment and how do we invest in mental health care, public education, adequate access to housing. We want the Biden-Harris ticket to endorse the Breathe Act. We want them to show up not just in saying the words that Black Lives Matter, but we want them to prove that Black Lives Matter. We're really pushing for the DNC to listen to the people of the community. It's powerful to see so many people galvanized behind the three words, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter! It's even more powerful when people show up and prove that Black Lives Matter. When I see legislation changing in cities and counties and states in the nation because they're listening to the movement and listening to the community. When we started this movement 7 years ago, we were really clear that we wanted it to get bigger than we can ever imagine. We needed to transform the system culturally, economically, and politically, and we are doing it, and we will continue doing it, no matter who ends up being the president in November. I think the reason why our movement has been incredibly effective is because we have not relied on one single leader to be the voice box for the community. Nobody is wedded to one movement or one person. We're all deeply, deeply moved by freedom.